good morning.
Hi there. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Not bad, not bad. My name is Vladimir. I'm a language teacher myself.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, the
Very,
reason I'm
very cool.
here on this platform is because I
Mhm.
want to talk with my fellow teachers on the topic of teaching.
Okay, sounds good. Very, very nice. Well, it's nice to meet you. My name is Tom.
Good to meet you too.
Nice to meet
You still in Japan?
you. Yes, I am.
I
Right
see.
now, actually. hmm
So how long have you been teaching English for in Japan?
About 4 years now.
4 years now. At eikaiwa school.
Yep, that's correct. Yeah, yeah. Well, it's more, yeah, it is technically it's a school, but it's more of like this, like a one-on-one sort of
Which one is it,
environment.
if you don't mind me asking?
Gaba.
Gaba.
hmm Are you
Oh,
in Japan?
I am in Japan myself, yes.
Oh,
Yes.
wonderful. Okay. Which part of Japan are you in?
Tokyo.
Ah, okay. So you're very far away. I'm
Yourself?
in Kansai, so Osaka.
Oh, Osaka. Okay. So my first
hmm
question is, what's the role of a language teacher?
Hmm. Well, that's a good question. I guess it's depending on who you ask, right? But at least for me, I feel like it's to help facilitate people's, not so much to teach, but to help facilitate somebody's language learning, goals or their kind of their help
In
them
what
on their
way?
journey.
What way?
Well, so that they could fulfill their goals. So, and I could help them in a variety of ways. I suppose. Guess I haven't really thought about it too much, but pretty much just to help people out. I guess I've kind of moved away from calling myself a teacher and more because I feel kind of
It's not
like I'm
teaching.
not
It's not,
qualified.
yes, especially places like Cambly Gaba. I don't think that's teaching. Let me read you a definition I came across recently. The role of the teacher is to teach the student how to learn alone without a teacher, how to become an independent learner. Would you
Okay,
agree with
yeah, I'd say that's fair. Yeah, actually, yeah, I do agree with that because a lot of people I tell at GABA, for example, I'll tell them like, I want you to get good enough and to the point where you don't need to come here anymore. Like you
that? You
have the
don't need to
tools to
pay
kind
me.
of,
Put me out of
yeah,
business. So what do you do?
pretty
What
much.
kind of advice do you give for them not to pay you?
Well, I guess it depends on the student. I have a lot of business people, so I pretty much tell them how I studied Japanese for the most part.
Please share in a few words. How did you study Japanese?
So I use a variety of techniques like shadowing. I would just use a lot of repetition, SRS, um, flashcards online or on the internet, digital flashcards, and just a lot of immersion. Really,
When you say immersion, what do you mean by immersion?
when I did immersion, I watched Japanese movies all the time, music all the time,
With the
news all
mindset
the
of
time.
learning the language, or you just enjoyed watching movies?
It was both because I like the movies, but I also wanted to learn Japanese, so I put those two and two together.
Okay,
Games too.
games
So,
too.
mhm.
Let me tap into your background in linguistics.
Okay.
What is language to you? I think you would agree that in order to figure out how to teach, we have to be able to define the thing we are teaching. So, what is
Sure.
language?
I
In a few
think of it
words,
as a tool of communication.
tool of communication. Let me give you my definition. My
Okay.
definition is the exact opposite. Language is a tool for acquiring knowledge.
Okay. I see. I'd agree with that too.
But it's the exact opposite. How can you agree if it's the exact opposite? Language is not
Well,
for speaking, language is for getting knowledge, information. What you did with your Japanese. Language is for getting knowledge, information. I prefer the word knowledge over information because knowledge implies interest.
okay. That's true. I agree. Yeah, I suppose, yeah, I'd agree with that.
So why communication? Why is everybody saying that language is a tool for communication?
Well, because we do use it to communicate. We're using it to communicate with each other right now, right? So we have to have a good grasp of the communication of the language.
To me, speaking is a byproduct of knowledge acquisition.
Mm. Okay.
You
Hmm.
can't talk about something you know nothing about. I mean, that's common sense.
You're right. That is true. Oh, interesting.
So what is all this eikaiwa and Cambly all about? There's no knowledge in it. I'm gonna be
Mm.
perfectly honest. I used to be an eikaiwa teacher, and I
Hmm.
got disillusioned with the whole thing because
Oh,
I
sure.
realized that there's no improvement. What's your honest opinion of the eikaiwa industry in Japan? Just the name of it,
Uh,
English conversation. It's insane. English conversation school. What's your honest opinion?
hmm.
Does it work? Does it help?
Mm, depends. I think it
To me, it
depends.
doesn't depend. Again, to me, language is a tool for acquiring knowledge. What's the problem with with English education in Japan? It's not a problem. Why Japanese people can't speak English?
In terms of, you mean like the English education? I
Not
mean,
education, sorry. Why Japanese people are not good at English?
hmm. I think a lot of it is brought on by maybe what they learn in school, the kind of the habits that they develop in school, this sort of mentality of always being perfect and everything has to be correct, and it kind of carries
But
on.
they're never
I've heard,
correct. They're never correct. They're never perfect.
right, right,
How
and I
many times
think,
have you corrected, I am interested, I am interesting instead of I'm interested?
oh, many times.
Almost people and I'm boring and all that. Yeah. There's no
Yeah,
end to
yeah,
it. Yeah.
yeah. There, you're right. That happens quite a bit, and yeah, that's from a lot of people who don't, you'll tell them many times and they will not kind of study the language, study or do anything with the language outside of it. So,
Again, when you say do anything with the language, I guess you mean speak. To me, it's not a problem. It's just the reason. Japanese people consume knowledge through Japanese because there's plenty of
mhm,
it.
sure.
And that's why they don't speak English. Because
Yeah.
speaking is a byproduct of knowledge acquisition. So what's the point of eikaiwa? What's the point of Cambly?
Well, it's supposed to be to develop a language learning or the English skill, right? But you can't just learn through Cambly or you can't just learn through an eikaiwa. You have to do other things
You have
in
to
the
acquire
language.
knowledge through the
Yes.
language.
Hmm. Yeah, exactly.
But
Hmm.
they don't do it because they don't need. But the confusion is they think they don't need to speak it. No, no. The problem is they don't need to consume knowledge through English because they have plenty of it.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what I try to tell people, like, "Hey, you need to do things," because that's what I did for Japanese, right? I mean, it could be anything from watching a tutorial in Japanese on YouTube or something just to learn the new words and new phrases, and I try to tell people to do that, and they don't.
But again, you went with the mindset of I want to learn Japanese because that's the problem with you guys, native speakers of English, because you have an abundance of amazing information in English, and for you it's
Yep.
very hard to force yourself to consume lower quality information.
Yeah, sure. That's true.
When I say problem with you guys, I don't mean it like an actual problem. It's not a problem. It's a good problem to
No,
have.
it's yeah, yeah, yeah. There's a lot of stuff there, right? Yeah,
So again,
definitely.
this GABA 40-minute lesson with people rushing to a booth and start talking,
Mhm.
does it work? Have you thought how insane
Mm.
the whole thing is?
Trust me, we talk about a lot of this stuff quite often. It depends,
Who
like
is
I said,
we?
well, just other people are in the
Okay.
industry, I suppose, to put it generally, I guess. Because I talk to people outside of Gaba, of course, too. So
I think
just in
this
like
type
the
of
English
eikaiwa is
business.
borderline. I don't want to, I can't call it a scam because I think that they honestly believe that speaking is important.
Hmm. Oh, sure.
They, I mean the industry and the professionals. But
Hmm.
it's so nonsensical.
Hmm.
You can't learn by speaking. There's no such thing as learning by speaking. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think that's true. Because I have,
Practice speaking makes no sense.
yeah, because you're not. like you said, right, inputting new information, right? And you're not getting things out of it, right?
Anyway, I like what you say here that you don't teach kids. If a kid calls you, you will you will hang up. Why is
I
it
I
that you?
had
I love it.
so many people ask me this.
No,
Because they have
yeah, I agree 100%. It's babysitting,
it's babysitting. Yeah, yeah.
but
They
that's
have
the
a
same
cam
with adults. That's what I
Yeah,
realized. It's
I know.
glorified babysitting.
Right, right. Well, in Cambly's situation, however, it was mostly because they have a Cambly Kids thing,
No,
right?
I understand. I understand.
And so the parents would put their kids on the call,
Yeah, it's just babysitting for you to take
and
care of them. Yeah. Yeah.
it's not even like the right platform for that. So
Let
I
me
was
ask
like
you: have you ever paid for speaking?
paid for like Japanese
Have you
speaking.
paid for speaking any language, anything? Have you paid for a conversation?
I don't think
日本会話
so.
no. Have you?
No, 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 no,
No,
no,
never.
no.
Would a native speaker of English pay you to have a conversation with you?
No.
You see my point, my issue with the whole thing? I felt
Sure.
I was providing a service I wouldn't pay for.
Hmm. Yep. Yeah, I can see that. So right now you said you're in Tokyo. You were in the eikaiwa business for a long time.
I was, yes. It's a dead-end job. I don't know your future plans, but this is a dead-end job. What I teach now is how to learn.
Okay.
That's what I teach online. How to learn. Because I
Okay.
think that's, again, we are talking about knowledge. You come
Hmm.
to me not to practice your speaking because it makes no sense. You
Hmm.
come to, you go to a teacher to get knowledge. And the only knowledge I can give you is how to learn alone.
Hmm. Yeah, I think that's a good way to go about it. That's the way to go about it. But
The only way to go
unfortunately,
about, yeah.
as of now, unfortunately, the eikaiwa pays the bills. So it's the reality that I'm
I got
stuck with.
physically sick because I felt I was deceiving people in a way because I just woke up and you realized that there was no improvement, that they're
Hmm.
wasting their time. And again, I still put the blame on the teacher because the onus is on the teacher to tell the student how to
Hmm.
learn.
Right.
See what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah. Yeah, instead of kind of perpetuating the
Perpetuating the
cycle.
myth. Everything you need to know about how to learn a foreign language you can find in my book, Virtually Native, which is available on Amazon and virtuallynative.com. You have one life. Don't waste it.